How's it going, everybody? This is Novakast back with another video for you guys, and with this one we'll be doing another episode review of Boba Fett Season 1 Episode 6. And good lord, I like this. I really like this episode. To an extent, I guess, to kind of start us off, Mando goes to the planet that Luke is training Grogu, and at first he kind of gets put through the runaround with him trying to see Grogu and give him the armor. But sure enough, Ahsoka is also there and kind of convinces him to just leave it to her so she can give it to Luke and Luke give it to Grogu, because at this point they kind of bring up the fact that if he sees Grogu, it might confuse him, or if anything, it might make it more difficult for him to train. So to that point, we also see a little bit of Grogu training, which is pretty cool. Luke is honestly a really cool teacher. Like, watching him try to teach Grogu is really interesting. And to see Grogu actually kind of start taking in some of the stuff that he's learning is pretty cool too. On top of that, we have Mando, who is also trying to help, Boba Fett prepare for this war that could affect the entire planet against the Syndicate and the Pikes. So, to the extent they are doing their best to figure out, what they're going to do. They have the muscle, they have, the reconnaissance, but they don't have the foot soldiers to an extent. So Boba, or not Boba, but Mando, ends up going to the one person he knows that has a lot of soldiers, or anybody who would be willing to fight. And that, of course, being Cobb Vanth, who was the marshal who originally bought Boba Fett's armor in one of the earlier seasons for Mandalorian. So to an extent, which, by the way, we see a little bit of him doing his job, and it's actually pretty cool. To an extent, there's a moment where several of the Syndicate members are trading spice, and the marshal stops him and basically has to take out 3 of them because they're stupid, but leaves the one guy to kind of leave the message that, hey, you can't touch us, don't bother messing with our town. Also leave the spice, which he then dumps into the desert. So, to the extent, we see a little bit of how he's doing. And he's even happy when Mando shows up, though not happy with the fact that Mando is asking for a favor. That, of course, being to see how many people would actually be willing to fight. And Mando kind of brings up the point. I mean, it's hard for him to kind of ask for this favor to an extent. And he mentions the fact that even because right now they don't want to I guess take part, Cobb Vanth and his town, but to the extent Mando makes the point that everybody may be fine at this current time, but with the Syndicate that might cause problems. So to an extent, just makes things worse. And after Mando leaves, a stranger shows up, and sure enough, it's the bounty hunter, I believe, from the animated Clone Wars series. And he kind of makes the offer that whatever Mando and Boba Fett are offering him, they'll match it. And to kind of prove his point at this, when it comes to how serious he is, he basically shoots Cobb Vanth and his deputy, and kind of last thing he says before taking off, basically saying that if they leave the Syndicate alone, they'll be left alone. Basically saying if they revolt, then the Syndicate will act, which is pretty screwed up. But all in all, it just goes to show that the Syndicate are serious about winning this fight with Boba Fett. So how this is going to go down, I don't know. Either way, it's so far we're 6 episodes in, and honestly, I'm really excited. Truly excited. Don't know what's going to come up next. To be honest, this episode, there's like partway through the episode though, I did think that this is like just a Mando episode. In fact, I was kind of thinking that this is more of like, you know, why don't you just call it Mandalorian Season 4? Just like late in the game, they introduced Mando, or reintroduced Mando. I don't know. It was interesting. But all in all, it's great that we have Mando back in the fight, and I'm kind of curious as to what they're going to do with him as time progresses, as well as a lot of the other characters that we, you know, have been seeing accumulate with Boba Fett. But all in all, really good episode. Sucks for Cobb Vanth though. But anyway, with that, I don't think I have anything else I'd like to add. If you guys have anything that want to tell me anything that I miss, leave in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.